Hey guys, this video is going to be about glyphs. I kind of fucked up today because I was going to have this video and talents and a small video about patch. I was going to have all of them up today and the frost video. After uploading the frost spec video, I found that my audio was all cocked up and the game sounds were too loud, and the frost video is kind of difficult to hear, so yeah, I've had to remake all these videos, which kind of sucks, but never mind, it's gonna come just a little bit later, I guess. So anyway, on to talking about glyphs and showing you what all the new glyphs are. So the first thing to note is there's now only major and minor glyphs. There's no other ones, just major and minor. You get 3 of each. Most of them are fun. All of them should be fun, really, rather than being compulsory, which is the way it should be. So the first glyph, Arcane Explosion, kind of boring, increases your arc. I say they're all going to be fun, and straight away right into it. Hey look, Arcane Explosion, kind of boring. Yeah, 5 yard extra on your Arcane Explosion. Arcane Power, Combustion and Icy Veins are all very similar. Increased duration and increase the cooldown. Arcane Power, Combustion, both 100%. Icy Veins 50%. So the reason behind these are simple. Arcane Power is a 1.5 minute 1.5 minute cooldown. So if you were to use this glyph, it's going to be 3 minute cooldown, but it's going to last twice as long. I think it's 30 seconds it would last. So just normally it lasts 15 seconds, with the glyph it would last 30. So the reason for getting something like this is if you had a burn phase, an execute phase on a boss fight that you knew was going to happen every 3 minutes, and it was going to be quite long, you're going to throw in one of these glyphs. So that's kind of what they're there for. Glyph of Armors, I don't mind the cast time on armors as it is. I like the fact that they last forever. That's kind of cool. I like the fact that they're now all different things like crit, haste, mastery. I like the fact that they add different defensive abilities for PvP. The glyph I hate. I actually don't really see the point in having the cast time reduced. The cast time should be removed. It should just flat be removed. It doesn't really make a great deal of sense to me to be like, hey look, you've still got to cast it, and you've just used a major glyph slot. Cool. Yeah, you get some extra defensive. The defensive abilities are a little bit buffed, but yeah, so they need to change. In my opinion, they need to change that to like, even if they kept the cast of it, but like made you be able to cast it without removing that would be okay. I'd tolerate that, but I think having to stop and cast like, what is it, 1.32 seconds for an armor is just ridiculous. It's really stupid. It's a terrible glyph. Anyway, we'll move on. Blink, yeah, another kind of boring one. It just makes you blink 5 yards more. Combustion we've covered. Cone of Cold, increase your Cone of Cold damage by 200%, so it hits a hell of a lot harder. Excuse me. It's good for obviously solo play if you're kiting stuff around. Probably good for arenas and PvP. Absolutely no use in raiding. Counterspell glyph basically means that you can cast counterspell whenever you want. So this is actually quite cool, and I quite like this one. So you can be casting away, mid-cast, counterspell, done, simple. So the thing that's really cool about this is obviously it's going to be really good for PvP, because you know, when you're against someone, when you first meet them, they don't know what you've got as your glyphs, so they're not going to know, and you know, you could be fake casting, you could be waiting to cancel it late and try and duke them that way, and then you could actually just have the counterspell thing and counterspell them and prevent them from interrupting you. So there's some cool dynamics in there that's going to add some interesting mind games in PvP. For PvE, obviously, it's no mage likes cancelling a fireball that they've just started, so they can interrupt that goddamn mob. So this removes that problem, lets us interrupt whenever we want. This deep freeze glyph doesn't work at the moment. I tested it earlier on today. It's meant to make your deep freeze no longer have a global cooldown, which kind of makes no sense because it's got a 30-second cooldown. So what? And it doesn't remove the cooldown, the global cooldown of the other spells, because if you watch, the ice lands here. So I throw up my deep freeze and the ice lance will still have a global cooldown like that. So what the hell is this glyph meant to do? That clearly needs reworked. I would like to see it maybe reduce the cooldown by a couple of seconds, something like that. I don't know. Maybe make it last longer by a second or something. That would be okay. I'd quite like that. What's its range? Its range is 33 yards. Maybe make it a 40-yard range, which would kind of be pointless because your Frost Nova can't reach it. That would be good with Fingers of Frost, so maybe do it like that, something like that, I don't know. Evocation is the same as always. Fingers of Frost I covered in the Frost section, where I kind of think it's mandatory. Fire Blast, now this glyph will pretty much be mandatory for cleaving. You're probably going to take on low numbers of mobs, but not 1 or 2. Something like between 3 to 5-ish, or 3, 4 or 5 mobs. If you're cleaving them all, you're spreading your living bomb, you're going to need this glyph. For 1, it's 2 global cooldowns to cast 3 living bombs via this glyph, rather than obviously 3 global cooldowns. So that's pretty good. So yeah, if you're ever going to use living bomb, you're going to want this. Frost Nova, reduce the cooldown of Frost Nova by 5 seconds, maybe good for PvP, but not much else. Frostfire Bolt Glyph is basically just cosmetic for Fire Spec. No value at all in Frost Spec. As Frost Spec, Frost Bolt, even with glyphed Frostfire Bolt, Frost Bolt is still superior to Frost Fire Bolt. So you'll never actually take this glyph as Frost. As Arcane, yeah, you're never going to take it. As Fire, it's only cosmetic. A glyphed Frostfire Bolt is actually less than a Fireball. The Fireball is 4,000 mana, Frostfire Bolt is 4,000 mana. Both the same cast time. The damage is 1 less on Frostfire Bolt, but you get the slow. 1 less. So it's just a cosmetic glyph really. Ice Block. This one got changed, so this is the new version of Ice Block. And basically what it does is when you cancel or finish your Ice Block, you will cast a free Frost Nova, and then it makes you immune to spells for 3 seconds. So Ice Cubes up, Frost Nova explodes, and you can see the debuff now gone. Immune to all non-physical effects, it says. Immune to all non-physical effects. Last 3 seconds after the Ice Block finished. Has the same icon as Ice Block, so you might have missed it. Just rewind the video and you'll see it. The next one, Glyph of Ice Lance. This makes your Ice Lance hit 1 additional target for 50% of the damage. If you've watched the Frost video, you'll notice that Ice Lance hits incredibly hard. So this glyph is really strong for cleaving Frost. So you'll be hitting 2 targets with your Ice Lance, and your Ice Lance is going to be doing crazy damage, so that's pretty awesome. Glyph of Invisibility is the same as Live, it just increases your movement speed whilst you're invisible. The next one is kinda silly. Glyph of Mana Gem, it makes your Mana Gem have 10 charges rather than 3. I can maybe understand it for Arena if you tend to have long Arena games. I'm not sure what the average length for Arena game is right now, but to use all the Mana Gems with this would take 20 plus minutes. Take a little bit over 20 minutes. So no boss fight is over 20 minutes. You're never really going to want 10 charges of your mana gem whilst you're leveling. You're not going to want it 5 mana instances. So the only thing I can think of is maybe arena players want it. I'm not sure. Glyph polymorph is the same as just now. It removes all damage over time effects. This next one I really like. It's remove curse. So this is the thing to encourage mages to decurse, because I know we all hate it and we all try and skip it and we all try not to do it. Let some other asshole do it. Well, now we actually want to, because if we manage to decurse something, we get a damage buff. So, you know, we're going to want to well, if we've got this glyph, we're going to want to decurse once every 10 seconds. Anyone who's cursed in between that 10 seconds, screw them, let them die, whatever, they shouldn't have gotten cursed in the first place. You know, so yeah, there you go. We're going to decurse every so often if we use a glyph. The slow glyph, I covered that in the arcane section. It's a mandatory glyph for arcane, which is actually done. Hopefully they fix that. It's really, really stupid to have mandatory glyphs. Spell steal, points for PvP, PvE, pointless for PvE, good for PvP. Heals you for 10% your maximum health when you steal a spell, and spell steal has no cooldown yet. Cost fuck ton of mana, but if you think about it, your entire mana pool. Oh wait, yeah, we have more health than mana now, so it's not even gonna. You could expend your whole mana bar to get all your health back, but then you'd be out of mana and not be able to do anything. But still, yeah, you know, you're gonna be spell stealing anyway, so what the hell, it's a nice little bonus. The glyph of water elemental, I will show you from a character that is Frost. So, glyph of water elemental increases the water elemental's health by 40%. So at the moment it is 76,000 and I have the glyph. Now I don't have the glyph. 76,000. Right. So it clearly doesn't work. And also, son of a bitch will not cast whilst moving. Rubbish. So he's lazy, he just wants to stand still, cast his water bolts. He's not going to move and cast. So clearly that glyph just doesn't work. Much like the deep freeze glyph being terrible. So next glyph. Oh well, that's the end of the major glyphs. So the minor glyphs. Arcane Brilliance, same as always, 50% reduced mana cost. Conjuring, reduced mana cost. And I'm going to switch back to the other one. So back onto this mage in Darnassus. Yes, I have 2 mages on battle at the moment and will end up having 11. So, Critter Morph. This is actually a mandatory glyph. Every mage actually has to have this regardless of spec. And you need it in PvP. You need it in PvE, you need it for raiding, you need it for solo play. If you're an automated gold bot, you will still need this glyph. It is essential that every mage has this. What it does is it allows you to cast your polymorph on critters and it will last 1 day and you can polymorph as many critters as you want. It is essential that all mages make it their goal in life to have every critter in the entire universe looking like a turtle. Because let's face it, turtles are pretty cool. So we can make lots and lots of turtles all over the place. So all these other crap classes, warriors and rogues and stuff, they'll all be I'm trying to get to level 85 first, realm first, and all this kind of nonsense. Mages, we don't give a shit, because when we're leveling, if there's critters, they need to be sheeped. So make sure that every time you see a critter, you sheep that thing. Make them into turtles. Because look at that gormless expression. Come on, stop moving. Stop moving. Yeah, just run away, bitch. Yeah. Excuse me. See, turtles are cool. Turtles are so cool they can even fly. Look at this guy. Flying turtles. Turtles are everywhere. Look at them all. So yeah, that's the best thing that Blizzard have ever done, period. Even better than making World of Warcraft itself is allowing us to make turtles everywhere. It's the best thing. Everyone's got to do it all the time. So the next glyph, loose mana. Loose mana basically means that your mana gem restores your mana over time rather than instantaneously. So I'll show you when I use a little bit of mana here. Spend some mana, and then I'll use the mana gem, and you see we get a buff. So my fear is that this can be stolen or dispelled or purged, so if it can, then this is crap for PvP. If it can't, it might have its uses. In PvE, kind of makes no difference for fire and frost. But as arcane, it kind of becomes essential. What will happen with arcane is when you do your first arcane blast, your mana only goes down by 1,500. If you use your mana gem normally, that will way overcap you. But 1,500 is way closer to max mana, obviously, than being 15,000 down on mana. Now what this means is that you can use your mana gem way earlier with way more mana, and it will keep your mana topped up. And why is this good? Mastery. More mana you've got, more damage you're going to do. So if you drop to 15,000 less mana, you're doing a way less damage. If you drop to 1,500 less mana and then eat your gem and you keep your mana kind of staying higher, it's way better. So kind of weird situation where this gem becomes mandatory for arcane, and it's a minor glyph. Really screwy. Not thought through by Blizzard at all. Sorry if you see frequent pause in the video. I keep having to pause it for having coughing fits. I seem to have obtained myself a cough since this morning. But so yeah, there might be some random pauses. I don't want to cough too much on the videos. So the next one is glyph of mirror image. It's the same as live. Glyph of momentum. Now this changes a lot. So the best thing to do is I'll go to Toberad so I can show some weaknesses of this glyph, because it has a few. So here we are, we've arrived in Toberad to show you the weaknesses of the momentum glyph. So yeah, I've got momentum glyph on. So one of the changes, well, what the glyph does for a start is it teleports in the direction that you're moving rather than the direction you're facing. So we're going to sheep this guy. Oh, we don't have the glyph. So I can blink backwards. There we go. So yeah, it changes blink quite a lot as well. If you watch how blink works, I'm sure there's some character screen. General, your movement speed is 100. Well, mine's 108% normally. And if you watch carefully, when I blink, the speed goes up to 1,000 for a brief period, and you'll see that I actually travel the distance. I don't instantaneously move, not like normal blink. I travel the distance. So here we go. So I actually travel the distance. So I'm not sure if people can catch in the middle there, or how that's going to change things. One of the weaknesses, for a start, is this does not work underwater at all. I don't go anywhere, so that kind of sucks. So you're trading off certain weaknesses of normal blink versus of glyph of momentum. So another big weakness is if you go up here, is the way it works when you're falling through the air, or doesn't work, as I should put it. If you're falling, I suppose I should say this, that unglyph blink is identical to live. It is absolutely identical. It's not changed at all. It only changes its operation when you apply the glyph of momentum. So, jumping off this cliff, here we go, we're falling down, and I blink, and nothing happens, I just hit the ground and almost die. So glyph of momentum doesn't save you from falling through the air anymore, like normal glyph, and like normal blink would. So that kind of sucks. There's some cool things you can do. I've seen a video where a guy blinks towards the edge of a cliff with slow fall, and because he falls off the edge with 1000% movement speed, he floats miles. So that's kind of cool. The remaining glyphs are monkey and penguin, which you'll never use because you'll always want to make things turtles. Ritual refreshment, which basically means I don't need friends, so I can make tables for myself, assuming I have the glyph. So I'll kind of copy that one up. It's only a 1 minute cooldown, so I'll be able to show that in a second. Glyph of slow fall is the same, and we have glyph of rapid teleportation, which increases your movement speed by 70% for a minute once you take a teleport or take a mage portal. So we'll go through the portal to Tograd where we already are, so we won't go very far, we won't get a loading screen, and you'll see we'll get the buff. Yeah, again, I'm an idiot, because we've actually got to glyph these things. So there you go, there's the table, solo table, and the teleport. They're just fun things, they don't really serve any real purpose. I have no idea if other people get this, if they go through my portal or not. It's nice for getting about. If your loading screen takes a minute, then it kind of sucks because you'll never get it. But whatever, tough shit. Get a better PC. Or get a PC if you have a Mac. So that's it for glyphs. I'll make another video for the talents. And yeah, sorry for my periodic coughing. And yeah, thanks for watching.